Hello people who cannot sit at home, thank you so much for joining me today. And today is a very special video. I'm going to be talking about my new Ontario road trip journal, starting from Toronto. So this book has been in the works for about, I would say 2 years that I had this idea and I just never had the time. And now I finally had the time. It still took me about 3 months to write. It has tons of content. I think it's great content, lots of road trips, and I want to take you through the whole book. So here's my beautiful journal slash book. It is 80 pages. Over here you can see the thickness of it. The size of it is, I think, is 6 by 9 inches. So it is fillable. You will see inside that there are numerous areas where you can fill out this journal with your own feedback, with your own review of the places. It is from Toronto, so if you are in the vicinity of Toronto, this will work for you. However, if you are really far, for example, in the northern Ontario, this might not be the best, but still, if you want to come over here more to the southern point, for sure this will work for you as well. Inside of the book, we have the 12 full day trips. They are the bigger trips. They require at least 7 to about 9 hours of your time. And they usually have from 5 to about 7 stops. Everything is written down for you. Everything is also, all of the times are also there. Then we have the 28 one location trips. Those are more of the shorter day trips. You can make it for a whole day. That's totally okay because there are other suggestions, not only just one location, but there are also other suggestions. These shorter kind of one location day trips is more maybe if you don't have enough time, you don't want to dedicate all of the day towards the road trip, you want to just do maybe half a day. And these trips are also organized from the closest to Toronto to furthest from Toronto so that you can see how far you want to drive. And then there are also 12 fun road games. I will also show you later on. I think they're so much fun. This is just entertainment on the road. For kids, for adults, I try to keep it so that everybody can be entertained. Of course, it's written and designed by me, Ontario Road Tripping. Please make sure to follow me. So I'm currently on TikTok, over here on YouTube, on Instagram. Usually those are my 3 main ones that I post the most often at, but I'm also on Pinterest and I also have an Etsy channel. Illustrations were done by my mom. So her name is online is MarinaVertArt. She's on also TikTok, on Instagram. And she also has a store on Etsy and it's called Studio Polaris. And I'm gonna link her Etsy location right down below. Also, I'm gonna of course link where to buy this journal, this printed copy down below. And I'm also gonna link a digital copy. If you just want to have the digital kind of reference, it has all the links as well, so you can do that. I'm gonna link that down below. Okay, now let's go inside. So first we have this journal belongs to, and this is where you put your name. If lost during wild adventures, please return by contacting, so you can put either your phone number or your email, whatever you feel comfortable with. If in fact you do lose it, leave it somewhere. Hopefully people will get it back to you. Find us at Ontario Road Tripping. As I mentioned, please definitely subscribe. Definitely please tag me. So of course at Ontario Road Tripping. And then we also have the hashtag ORT journal. So over here we have the first kind of spread. We have how to use this journal, all of the rules. The general overview of this page is that of course you can skip some of the stops if you don't want to go to some of the stops. You can rearrange the stops, you can shorten your trip, you can longer your trip because there's always going to be suggestions of what's on the way and what's in the area, so you can definitely do that. Another good tip is that before going on any of these trips, to go on Google Maps and see if the locations are still there. And there's a video from me. You can just take a QR code. There's a private video of me welcoming you and kind of thanking you for purchasing and talking in general about this book. Of course, over here we have the index page, what's where, a little bit about me. In here we have the road trip bucket list. I find on a lot of my travels, either if I talk to somebody new or even with somebody who I'm currently on a road trip with, there are always kind of, suggestions, and you can definitely put it all down there. A lot of times I take a screenshot or I follow a person and I never go back to it because I can never remember what was the name. So this is really handy, in my opinion, to just remember what you want to do. So over here we have the before you go checklist. I think it's really handy. It gives you the overall kind of typical road trip day, things you should probably take, such as all the different chargers, flashlights, flip-flops, sunscreen, beach attire. Definitely go through it whenever you're going on your road trips. Now we are off to the full day road trip section. And I'm gonna show you completely just so that you see what's happening. There's gonna be 12 of these road trips that are really detailed and outline of where you should go. So this one, the road trip number 1, is from Grimsby to St. Catherine. You can right away take a photo. So what I do is my phone, just if you take a photo of this QR code, it immediately goes to the URL. I don't know if you need to use an app, QR code app. You can download it. There's tons of them for free. What you do is you take a photo of this and it shows you on Google Maps all of the stops, pretty much essentially this map. You can follow this over there, you can follow it over here, totally your choice. This is just so that it's easier for you. So the duration of this trip is approximately 7 to 9 hours. Right away you will see that the start time, the drive time from Toronto is 1 hour and 7 minutes. This will kind of give you an idea of how far this is. And then we go through all of these stops. The first stop, Painted Ladies of Grimsby, time to explore is 1 hour. You can also take a picture of this QR code and it will take you to a TikTok video of me exploring Grimsby. I think it's a great way to get yourself pretty much like excited for this trip and see what is it that you're gonna see. There's an antique market, that's stop number 2. There is Lakeside Park, Beach, and Carousel. And by the way, you will also notice that for each of the locations, I try to put in like a bathroom if there's a bathroom option. And then I also try to put if there is a food option. And of course, I also try to put in what is the exploration time, how long it will usually take. Usually for me, it takes 1 hour to explore all of that area. For you, it could be shorter, or for you, it could be longer. Then we have stop number 4. It's a really fun watering can flower market, really gorgeous place. Then if you're getting hungry, I usually, in each of the trips, I usually put a food kind of like a restaurant suggestion, or the suggestion will be here on Visit on the Way. And then the last stop is Grimsby on the Lake. And it's a beautiful little town. Over here, you can just visually see. So here we have the Painted Ladies of Grimsby. Stop 1, stop 2, stop 3, stop 4, stop 5, stop 6. So it's kind of does a loop around and you get to head back to Toronto. Over here is the Visit on the Way. It's a whole list of different places you can visit on the way. They're not in any particular order, but they are definitely, all of them are great places. And I wish I could put them into all of these trips, but it's just going to be too long. And over here, this is the portion of the journaling that I think is really cool. At least I love doing stuff like this. So your trip, your thoughts. First of all, what is the rating of this trip out of 5? So I use the cute little Canadian leaves. You can color them in and or put check marks in them, whatever is easier. The section of what I liked, what we liked, the section of what we didn't like, and places we found along the way, because I feel the beauty of road trip is actually a lot of times running into something and finding these little gems like a coffee shop or a really cool garage sale or something like that. So definitely put it down just for maybe next year you're gonna look over it, it's gonna be good memories, or you want to repeat it again and maybe go back to this. I'm gonna not show everything because I want to be fair to all of the people who are gonna purchase this. So there's gonna be a total of 12 road trips, and the next one is Port Hope Loop. And yeah, it just continues on with all of these detailed, wonderful road trips. But to highlight some of the road trips, even though I think all of them are amazing, rock hunting in Bancroft is a really unique trip. What's special about this trip is that I think that this is actually a fairly unique trip. There's not a lot of information, at least not a lot of easily accessible information. And I spent a good chunk of last summer kind of trying to figure out how you can rock hunt in Bancroft. Because this town, even though it's about 2 hours away from Toronto, it's worth visiting if you're into kind of finding your gems. So there's one location that's called Princess Satellite Mine that I'm going to link down below, the link to my TikTok video that did pretty much 500,000 viewers, that people, there was so much interest in it that you can basically go into this farm and it's free to enter. You can find amethyst and different kinds of mica rocks, and it's just so much fun. And you can even take your own hammer. You have to bring your own hammer, and you can open up those rocks, see what's inside, and then you do have to pay for whatever it is you take out of the farm, but it's just so much fun. And there also another location that I found that is also in this road trip that will basically take you to a free location, free kind of beautiful location to do some rock mining. And another thing about this road trip is it does take you to a active mine, and you can see how it's happening in a more of a professional level. So definitely a big highlight. And one more road trip that I want to talk to you about, highlight if you will, even though again I think all of the road trips are amazing, but this one specifically I really loved, and I think this is going to be amazing for when it comes closer to Halloween, but I think you can do it any time of the year. Hamilton has a lot of really cool places, a lot of haunted places with a lot of history. So over here is a collection, what I think is very accessible, very interesting locations that you can explore. Some of them are pretty creepy, but all of them are fascinating. And up next we have the one location road trips. These are the 28 road trips that are a bit shorter. They're just one location, but as I mentioned, they all have visit on the way section. So let me just go through the first one and just explain how this all works. So the first trip, Tommy Thompson Park, which actually in my opinion is one of the most amazing parks, if not the best park near the Toronto area. It's close to downtown. It's kind of where the Cherry Beach is, on the other side of it. You can go over here, scan for photos from my Instagram account. By the way, I should mention that the names of all of the locations, including the locations for the longer trips, if you type in the actual name, Tommy Thompson Park, it will show up right away in Google Maps. But if you would like to know the exact location for the address, over here, the address is down below. But for the full day road trips, because I didn't have, unfortunately, space to put all of the addresses over here, you can go to the very end of the book, the last page, and it has all of the full day trips addresses. So now going back to our one location day trip to Tommy Thompson Park, you can see some of my description and what I think you should be doing in there once you get to the park. And time to explore is 1 hour to 4 hours. Honestly, you can spend a whole day in that park. It's such a big park. Visit on the way, we have all of the locations that I suggest would be cool to check out, such as Distillery District is right there. And of course, the portion of our fillable journal, you have the same thing, the overall rating, and then we have what we liked and what we didn't like, and maybe what we found that's really cool in that park. So up next, we have the games for the road. I'm sure many of you have experienced that you're on a road trip and you get bored. So there are 12 games, and from the first game, there's a Would You Rather game, which is a very simple game of, would you rather this or this? For example, would you rather wake up in Nova Scotia or wake up in British Columbia? The second game is the survival trivia. The third game is ridiculous dares game. For example, text somebody using your nose and then you actually get points and you can score each other. The fourth game is summer bucket list. So for example, the first one have a picnic by the water, and you can put the dates of when you actually had that picnic, and it just gives you somewhat of an outline of what you could do during the summer. And there's also a section for 2 things that you can add of your own. Maybe there's something specific of your own that you would like to do this summer. So for the game 5, we have the very Canadian scavenger hunt. The game 6 is Canadian trivia. Lots of fun, lots of things that I personally didn't know, so I was surprised. The game number 7 is Canadian song match. What that means is that there's going to be a couple of sentences from a very famous song, and there's on the other side we have the names of the artist, for example Drake, with the name of the song actually, and you need to match them up to each other. Game number 8, we have the Canadian slogan match. Similar idea, for example, always fresh, always Tim Hortons. You're gonna need to match the always fresh to the Tim Hortons, that kind of thing. This game is Spot the Differences, and the illustration was done by, of course, the amazing Studio Polaris. And there are 14 differences, and you get to do the check marks over here and compare. So I'm not showing you the other side, but you basically compare them and see what you can find. So for the game 10, we have the How Well Do You Know Ontario. It's basically to test your knowledge of all of the different landmarks, and most of them are in this book, so if you do all of the trips, you for sure will have no problem. Some of them are not in this book, but they're also very famous. So yes, location 1, and you put your name down and you try to figure out what's where. And at the bottom over here we have the key solution, so you can later on just flip the book and find out. For the game 11, there's 2 of them actually. So this is the word search for parks over here, Ontario parks, of course, provincial parks, and Ontario lakes. And for the game 12, we have the reverse TV show names. This is a bit of a crazy game, but I think it's also so much fun. I tried making it good, so I'm sorry if some of this is a bit too ridiculous, but I tried. So what the idea is that, for example, Fixing Good becomes Breaking Bad. So I am giving you only the reverse of the TV show, and you need to write down what is it actually, the actual correct name of the TV show. And of course, all of the names are down below in the answer key. So for example, Enemies, of course, becomes Friends, the TV show. Now over here we have events and festivals by month. So what this is a listing of each month in Ontario and what's happening in terms of events and in terms of, for example, when is the strawberry season, when is the lavender season. So I try to outline all of the things you should be kind of in the know about, it's best to look at this page in the beginning of the month. Now in the next portion we have let's do some art, and this is just a coloring, beautiful coloring pages. There's 8 of the really cool illustrations. You can either shade them in with a pencil or a pen, or color them in with markers. Maybe go to, you know, a dollar store and get a bunch of markers or crayons and have a lot of fun. And of course the illustrations are done by the amazing studio Polaris. And over here there is a thank you page, so of course thanking everybody who has helped me, because there were a number of people who proofread this, gave me ideas of what to put in there, gave me technical ideas, like especially with the QR codes. It was really much appreciated, and you know who you are, and thank you so much. When you do go on these road trips, I would highly appreciate that you tag me, maybe take a couple of photos, tag me as Ontario Road Tripping, and hashtag it at ORT Journal, so that I can see what's happening and other people can also see it, because there's going to be other people who have purchased this, and we can create a community of like-minded individuals through these kind of social media hashtags. So this concludes the review of my Ontario Road Trip Journal. Here's the back cover, beautiful, shiny. I'm very proud of this book. I hope you find use in it. I hope it adds to your amazing summer. And definitely I would love to hear about your experiences. If you have any tips, if you have any road trips that I didn't cover that you want me to include, let me know. Of course, if you find any of the locations amazing and you absolutely love them, tag me. I would so love to hear from you. And I'm going to put all the links down below. Thank you so much and have an amazing summer.